So we're going to present about Pedro Lopez. Um, Background. Well, a lot of criminals start with pretty. Well, they start with an impulse because most of the time they grow in a pretty awful habits, which leads them to become really violent, take bad tendencies, and also really propense to become a criminal. This is not so different from what happened to Pedro Lopez, later known as the Monster of Hands. And he was born in Colombia in 1948. He was the seventh child of 13, but before he even born, was struck with the fate of his father died in a civil war that was happening in Colombia. So he never had a father, pretty much. Had Pedro grown up with a father figure, his mother would have become a prostitute. So, while still a child, his mother claims that he didn't seem to be to have any malice or either have any deviant tendencies. So he even said to his mother that he wanted to become a teacher when he grew up. But the disgusting environment where he grew up, because his mom became a prostitute, he was around a lot of men who was assaulting his mother, and in a bad ambient for anyone, especially for a child like him. So, while still being a child, he was molesting his sister, and because of this, he got a really crazy consequence that was he getting banished from his home, making him homeless at just 8 years, if I'm not wrong. So, living in a city of Colombia, he traveled all the way to Bogota, still in Colombia, but it's a little far away, and he joined a gang where he started taking drugs. And while still being in that time, he got invited to get in a home. So he accepted. It seemed like a good opportunity, but he got raped there with just like 10 years old. He escaped and actually got adopted by a family with good intention. They got him in a school for orphans, I'm correct. But in the school, some of the teachers was molesting him, and even one of the teachers sexually assaulted him. So he escaped again at 12 years, and never got out of the street life. He just stayed like that, being a homeless man, taking drugs till he was 21 years old, when at this age he was arrested for stealing a car. In the prison, where the prison is not really sure and secure, I would say. And he got raped again by 2 different dudes. So by the time he got out of prison, he was already pretty much really affected. So they released a monster who started raping and murder rampage around the city.
So by this point, things he lived, the hard life he lived as a child, he was broken yet hardened and often spoke of seeking vengeance of the pain he lived as a child. Lopez committed many crimes, but most of these were all related to his violent sexual attraction and desire for revenge. So one of his first crimes started in 1969, where Lopez was arrested for auto theft and was sentenced to 7 years in prison. And during his imprisonment, he was once again sexually assaulted, but this time by several of his inmates. Soon after, he slid through his attackers' throats with a makeshift knife, which this led him to 2 more years in prison, approximately. Upon his summer release, he traveled to Peru with a newly acquired taste of blood and had developed an intense hatred towards women and, by proxy, his mother. He also had a very distorted objectification towards women, this due to his porn addiction, according to the Vanguard. Had his targets been his mother or any other adult woman, Pedro would have not chosen to start killing and murdering young people in Peru. So, Pedro was delighted and certain light go out of his victims, and his murderous rituals didn't stop there. Like, when he already killed the girls, then he would violate them when they were dead, and then he went for the next person, for his next victim. So Pedro also noted and confessed that he never killed any white girl because he thought that his parents were more like his parents had more supervision towards him, and this explains the propensity of his victims being indigenous. So Pedro was, police ultimately unearthed 57 bodies. He was charged with 110 murders, and he claimed to have been responsible for more than 200 deaths. And fun fact, he was sentenced to 16 years in prison, but because he had good behavior, he was reduced 2 years, which this was 14 years. Like, he went from 16 to 14.
Some causes or certain diagnosis. Pedro Chavo at the Library of Medicine affirms that his crimes can be influenced by his upbringing. He had no parental figure, so his mother was forced to go into that way of work. So other psychologists also state that he might have seen his mother's way of work and might have seen that as a way of love, and that's why he tried to assault his little sister. After that, he was thrown out of his house and he was raped 2 times. So his mental state was very bad. When he was in jail, he was raped again. So in jail, you have a very bad mental state, and with his other consequences he suffered, started doing his crimes. Had he not been in jail, he might have not made his later crimes. When he was convicted, he said he murdered 27 little girls, and then was later diagnosed as a sociopath. He was hospitalized in Bogota's mental health ward, but was later released on a $50 bail and was declared sane.